Now, the manhunt is playing out, of course, in social media, as I said, on Twitter and on Facebook, and to a degree that's never really been seen in this country. It is being compared by many with the social media coverage of the post-Boston Marathon bombing. And indeed, one social media analyst we've been speaking to today says that access to this information and misinformation is a double-edged sword in a case like this. CTV's Jason Baxter has been looking into that for us.
Within minutes of the first shots fired, the first tweets and postings began, with hashtags like Pray for Moncton trending overnight and throughout the day. And the story continues to unfold online in real time.
From a social media perspective, this is really the first time we've seen an event of this scale in Canada, and how social media has played an absolutely critical role for the good and the bad.
Halifax-based social media analyst Giles Crouch says one of the positives is how organizations like RCMP New Brunswick and Horizon Health were able to deliver accurate, up-to-date information to people in Moncton through Twitter and Facebook.
So they know whether to get out of the area or whether to lock themselves down. So that's really good of emergency services to communicate so quickly.
Before social media and the advent of smartphones, more civilians would have potentially been at risk for a longer period of time because it was much more difficult to relay information.
The only place we could get it was radio, television and print, all of them having delay factors, and that a person had to be at a certain location to get the content.
But there was a flip side to all the info being shared. Much of it was wrong. At roughly 11 p.m., multiple sources reported that the shooter was dead, potentially giving residents that were hiding and locked down a false sense of security.
It's interesting, that seemed to come out shortly after the release of a video of where people were in their living room and they heard the shots fired, and we can see the reaction of the person.
Crouch says that dangerous piece of misinformation shows how a situation like this can bring out the worst in people.
It's inaccurate information, but they want some notoriety from that, and they get maybe a small kick out of it.
Another serious problem? Some people were tweeting the location of RCMP officers and first responders, possibly giving the shooter lethal information if he was following along on social media.
I suspect this individual, who definitely understands social media because of the statements that he's made on his Facebook page, he's probably fairly sophisticated, carrying a mobile phone with him. When he sees those tweets, he knows where the police are.
Late last night and again today, the RCMP pleaded with people to stop posting about the movement of Mounties.
Support the RCMP to follow their instructions, not to post anything that might impede their investigation.
For all the good, the bad, and the ugly, Crouch says there's an underlying truth.
After 10 years of social media, we still haven't wrapped our heads around how to use these tools.